In a bit of an unprecedented move, Meta, the company formerly known as Facebook, announced earlier this week that they would be increasing the price of their popular VR headset, the Quest 2, by $100. I can't remember a time in history when a video game maker or console manufacturer actually announced a price increase. This is very surprising. To top it off, PlayStation also made an announcement this morning unveiling new details about their new VR headset, the PSVR 2, and there's a lot to get into, so let's jump in. The price increase for Quest 2 headsets was made in an official Meta blog post Tuesday, July 26th, which reads, "We've been all in on VR since the early days of PC and mobile, all the way through to today's premium standalone 6DOF headsets, and we've invested billions of dollars to help nurture a thriving VR ecosystem. Now we're making a change that will help us continue to invest for the long term and keep driving the VR industry forward with best-in-class hardware, action-packed games, and cutting-edge research on the path to truly next-gen devices. Starting in August, MetaQuest 2 will cost $399 and $499 for the 128 gig and 256 gig versions, respectively." The blog added that as a consolation, for a limited time, every new headset purchase will include an offer to download the popular VR rhythm game Beat Saber at no additional cost. In addition, the prices for MetaQuest 2 accessories and refurbished units will also be increasing. It really is a weird framing for the announcement, kind of like, we made VR what it is today, so we've earned the ability to charge you more. And that's me editorializing, but they did go on in the blog post to kind of justify their reasoning for the price hike, saying, "People have spent over $1 billion on MetaQuest apps, helping to fuel developers' businesses as they deliver the games and experiences that make VR great." However, they added, "At the same time, the costs to make and ship our products have been on the rise. By adjusting the price of Quest 2, we can continue to grow our investment in groundbreaking research and new product development that pushes the VR industry to new heights." To finish out the blog, Meta details how they are continuing work on an even more expensive headset and lists a number of games that are coming to Quest 2, and then further justify the price hike by saying, "Even with these pricing changes, MetaQuest 2 continues to be the most affordable VR headset with a comparable feature set on the market." Then they concluded, "We'll continue working alongside the developers, early adopters, and diehard fans who play and build for VR every day. And we can't wait to keep sharing the work we're doing at Reality Labs on the road to the metaverse." The global chip shortage, and combined with a recession, is certainly making things harder to procure. Prices for components are going up. VR is no exception here, but it is really weird to see a tech company increase the base price of their hardware without improving it in any way whatsoever. No doubt Meta is losing money on hardware sales alone, but usually that gets taken into consideration with a software attachment rate. So to retroactively go back and say, "We were totally giving you guys a deal before, so you better go buy one now before it gets more expensive," really feels anti-consumer, at the very least. It really does kind of generate this fear of missing out, or like a stressful scenario for people who were maybe on the fence before about getting into VR, or maybe they were thinking about getting a Quest 2 in the past, but now they kind of feel like they have to, they feel obligated to, because if they don't buy it now, in August it's going to be $100 more, so they better get to it. And I guess that's on individuals to kind of make that call for themselves, that value judgment. But conveniently, that Beat Saber copy that comes free with the more expensive headsets is only available during the holiday season between August and December, which also feels kind of weird. And it's just really hard to imagine another video game developer like PlayStation or Xbox or Nintendo doing something similar, even if kind of the real world reasoning behind it does seem kind of sound. There has been a lot of speculation about why Meta has decided to do this. Potentially, they are paving the way for their more expensive headset, Project Cambria, or a more aggressive price for a Quest 3 headset in the future. Others have suggested the complete opposite. Video game industry analyst Matt Piscatella tweeted out, "Only way you do this is if you think you can still sell most of the units you make at the higher price." So either they believe price sensitivity isn't a factor on demand, and/or supply will tighten. However, another reason could be the overall health of Meta as a company. As FanByte's Mike Williams pointed out on Twitter, it sounds like the real answer for this change is Meta is trying to make up for struggles elsewhere. Not only is the recession hitting, but Meta is getting hit particularly hard. Williams then linked to a Verge article which outlines those struggles pretty clearly. Existential threats from other social platforms like TikTok, an update to Apple's privacy settings which cost Facebook $10 billion in ad revenue, and coincidentally, that's how much Meta spent to fund their metaverse division, which is estimated to pretty much be a money pit until the end of the decade. Meta has had hiring freezes and current staff are losing benefits. When Meta co-founder and CEO Mark Zuckerberg was asked during an all-hands meeting back in June if extra days off, called Meta Days, granted as a result of the pandemic, would continue in 2023, he responded stating Meta Days would be canceled, and then went on to elaborate, realistically, there are probably a bunch of people at the company who shouldn't be here. And part of my hope, by raising expectations and having more aggressive goals and just kind of tuning up the heat a little bit, is that I think some of you might just say that this place isn't for you. And that self-selection is okay with me. That's pretty brutal, and there's even more context in the Verge article, which I'm not gonna put in here because it would just take a lot of extra time. But if you're interested, go and read that article. It provides a lot of context, as well as responses from employees to those comments, and kind of just an overall state of Meta as a company right now. So yeah, basically, it's pretty easy to see why Meta would be tightening the screws across the entire company. But again, it's hard to imagine where increasing the price of gaming hardware is an effective strategy, especially with more VR competitors on the way. As I mentioned earlier, Sony released new details for PSVR 2 this morning. Specifically, they announced the new headset as a see-through view, where you can press a button on the PSVR 2 that allows you to see around you using the cameras mounted on the front of the device. You can also use the PS5 HD camera to record or broadcast yourself playing. There's a feature very similar to the Quest where you can customize a play area in your house using the front-facing camera to scan a room, but you can also adjust it using the PSVR 2 Sense controllers. Basically, you'll just get a warning if you get too close to your couch or your desk or something while playing a game. And finally, they announced that PSVR 2 will have both a VR mode and a cinematic mode. VR mode is for playing games about how you would expect on a high-quality headset, and the cinematic mode, as the blog explains, lets players view the PS5 system and UI and all non-VR game and media content on a virtual cinema screen. They clarified that content in cinematic mode will be displayed in 1920 by 1080 HDR. We already saw a few games for PSVR 2 shown up during the last PlayStation Partners Showcase, and some of those games are actually releasing this year. The blog noted that Sony will be sharing even more information soon about the launch date for PSVR 2 and even more games coming to the platform. Now, obviously, the PSVR 2 will have its own hurdles to overcome. For example, it connects to the PS5 with a single wire, whereas a Quest 2 is completely wireless, and you have to have a PS5 to even make use of a PSVR 2. But on the other hand, the PSVR 2 is more powerful than the Quest 2, and a holiday release that undercuts or matches Meta's new price could potentially be disruptive to what is currently the most popular VR headset on the market. Not to mention, Apple, Google, and HTC all reportedly have new headsets in development. All right, that's gonna do it for today. There's so much to talk about in here, whether it's the new precedent that Meta is kind of setting by retroactively raising the price of gaming hardware, or maybe, you could talk about the role that VR will play in the inevitable metaverse, which everybody keeps talking about. And obviously there's VR as a competitive marketplace, right? With all of these new headsets on the way. So, let me know what's good or what's bad, I guess, in the comments. Thanks for watching so much. And for more video game news and updates, please stay tuned right here to Inside Gaming.